Okay, everybody, we are live on YouTube following the Night of Champions, big event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia that saw some really good matches tonight and an incredible finish, a surprising finish. Sami Zayn is your undisputed WWE champion. Can you believe that? I think this was his 11th attempt at getting a title. It's either his 10th or 11th attempt at getting the major championship in WWE. He finally breaks through and does it in the triple threat match between he, Cody Rhodes, and Gunther. And yes, we do have a new undisputed WWE champion. No idea where this is going to go. No idea if this is going to be 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or longer. So this was always a possibility. You know, Sami the underdog, Sami the heel now, and Sami very frustrated. But again, he finally breaks through and wins this thing. I've got the post show going up here to my left. I've got my notes here from tonight on my left as well. We're going to go through all the matches. I will update you on all the happenings. And this is the first of a number of big events this weekend. Of course, tomorrow you have TNA's Slammiversary event coming up in the afternoon. You have Forbidden Door, AEW's Forbidden Door tomorrow night, running at the same time as NXT's Great American Bash. Still don't know why they did that. I think it was a mistake to do that, but we've got that. And then I've got a fight between two Beagles here to my right. Not really a fight, just a playful fight. So let's get into it. Overall, how was this? What was the what was my overall thought? Overall, I've already rated these, and I gave this event a pretty high score. And I don't want to get into the details of it because I save this usually for my newsletter, and then I will podcast after the newsletter. But I'll give you a sneak peek. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, this overall event, I gave it a 7.22, which again is pretty high. Let me go back to a couple of other events. Let's see, what was my last PLE premium live event? I'm not going to count Global Wars. It goes back to let's go with Clash in Italy. So that was actually a 7.5. So Clash in Italy, I rated it a little bit above that. We had the Cody Rhodes Gunther match in that one, which was rated a 7.67. Rhea Ripley Jade Cargill a 7.5. Obafemi Brock Lesnar 7.67. That was my match of the night. Let's see, Sol Ruka Becky Lynch was a 7.17, and then Roman Reigns Jacob Fatu was a 7.5. So that was a pretty good event. Let me go one before that really quick and see what I'm just curious. I have not looked at this and what I rated some of these live events or premium live events. Oh, well, this is not going to be a great comparison. Double or Nothing. Well, that was a 7.11. But there's a 7.11 when you're going through 12 matches versus the higher score for Clash in Italy that was only 6 matches, half that size. Let me go back one more before that. I'm just curious. I'm not going to look at Supercard of Honor. Let's look at Backlash. Backlash, I scored it a 6.87. So, of the WWE premium live events, this would be my second highest rated score. And again, this is my initial score. I'll always go back and take a look at it. But overall, again, Beagles arguing down there. Nothing like Beagles arguing on live TV. Let's start off with the very beginning here of the night, and it was a King of the Ring final. It was Jey Uso versus Jacob Fatu. Again, I'm going to go through my notes here, and bear with me because I haven't had a chance to really study my notes. This is going right after the show, so let me get into it a little bit with you. So the crowd set the tone right from the top. There was a huge pop for Jey Uso. Of course, he comes in, does his dance, and they ask him to roll it back. He does it a second time. And the only thing that could have been a bigger pop than Jey Uso was actually Obafemi, and that's exactly what happened. Oba comes out, everybody yells Oba. And it was a true coronation, is what I said in my notes. Everyone in the building seemed to know, and my expectation was that Jay would put up a fight, but he would end up winning it or losing it. That Oba would end up winning it. It's kind of what happened here. So early control, there was clearly a power gap between Jay and Oba. Oba shrugs off Jay's corner punches, doesn't even look phased. He hits a shoulder tackle that drops Jay, sends him rolling to the floor. Oba follows, and Jay escapes the floor. Oba was going for a power slam. Jay gets through it and sends Oba into the ring post. And that was the only way I could have really seen this being a really good match or competitive match, was if Oba ended up getting hurt. Oba, though, bounced back. Jay does land two suicide dives, and the third one he goes to hit, though, is he gets a punch from Oba, and that's kind of the key beat. Oba was answering the dive with a punch, and that tells you how little he's bothered by it. So Oba grinds. He hits a shoulder breaker, a corner shoulder. He goes for the choke slam, but Jay slips out of it. There's a power bomb attempt, but Jay slips out of it again. Jay hits a splash, but Oba pops right up and connects on a choke slam for 2. The crowd's pretty electric at this point. And then Jay hits 3 thrust kicks in the corner, a flying shoulder, a spear, and you felt the momentum shifting a little bit. He does a top rope splash, but Jay lands hard on it and kind of grabs his ribs and doesn't even get a count on it. Then there's a second splash, and he covers, and it's a near fall. And it looks like, I mean, my notes, I say Jay has Oba wounded. He goes for a sleeper, and that was the only time in the match where I was like, could this really be Jay's night? But that was kind of the turning point. Oba powers to his feet, throws Jay off. Jay with a thrust kick, but it's answered by a big Oba shoulder. Oba scoops him up, power slam. I think that's a power bomb. Gets a 3 count, and Oba Femi is your king of the wing, king of the ring. Jay gave it his all, and this match actually, like I said, went a little further than I expected, but Oba was never really in trouble. The result was never really in doubt. It kind of went the way I thought it did. Jay's whole offense is escapes and slip outs from Oba's power moves. The choke slam, the power bomb, the choke slam again, and the finish lands precisely. Oba finally hits the power bomb clean. The match is structured around Jay dodging the inevitable until he cannot. So Oba Femi is your king of the ring. He has not chosen his opponent. Again, I'm watching the post show up here to see if he does make a decision on that opponent. Not sure who it would be at this point. Sami Zayn? I can't see that. I honestly don't know. There's a scenario I have in my head where Brock Lesnar comes out tomorrow and somehow challenges Sami Zayn for the championship and wins it, so that Oba can fight Brock for the championship at SummerSlam. So there's that option. Sammy could go into SummerSlam the champion, and you could roll it back in some type of 3-way. I can't see that happening. I don't think Sammy's going to have this title at SummerSlam. So a lot in the air right now. Very curious as to what happens. Is it possible Jay Uso challenges Sammy for the championship and wins it, even though he loses King of the Ring? It's possible. So I don't know. A lot to come on that, but that is your men's King of the Ring. Again, Oba Femi wins King of the Ring. Match number 2, and these were the 2 matches that were broadcast live on ESPN, and you didn't have to have any, any ultimate package or premium package for ESPN to watch these 2 matches, which is nice. I mean, that's always good for those that choose not to buy the premium package for ESPN. But actually, before I get into this second match, let me go back and look. So Oba, there was a celebration in the ring with Oba. happen immediately after he wins. He's still in the moment. It's a celebration. Again, there's no setup there. The core line is that the ruler has now become a king. He frames the win as inevitable. Can't beat fate, can't beat destiny. He pivots it to himself. Most importantly, he says, "You can't beat me." The mountain you cannot climb or conquer. That is how he defines himself. And he closes naming himself King of the Ring. Again, not any flash, no proclamation on his opponent at SummerSlam. So that is it really on that match. And that's all I have to really talk about. So now we pivot to the women's Queen of the Ring match. And before that happens, Danhausen comes out. And I thought he was going to do a whole segment here. He doesn't. Danhausen comes out and first of all, he says hello to all the Riyadh-Hausens, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the Riyadh-Hausens. He's excited to continue his experiments. He's come into substantial money recently, and that will allow him to afford future experiments. Liv Morgan's music then hits, and she cuts him off and walks right up to him and says that he owes the Judgment Day a lot of money. Pay it back, or bad things are going to happen to you. And with that, Danhausen plays dumb. He doesn't know what she's talking about. And bottom line is she pissed him off, and Danhausen declares that Liv is cursed. And Liv responds by slapping Danhausen. But from that moment, you knew that Liv Morgan was not going to win this match tonight. I really had no doubt. Maybe I should have gone on and placed one of those bets somewhere, but I did not. This is a note I wrote, slapping the man who just cursed you is asking for it. This doesn't bode well for Liv. It certainly didn't. Then we go to the actual match, Io Sky versus Liv Morgan. Boy, I'll tell you, Io Sky, what a wrestler, what a persona. She's just awesome. I love watching her in the ring. She's so great with the crowd. I can't believe she was heel for a while. I hope that never happens again because she's such a fun person to watch in the ring. I love her ring music. I love how she comes out. I love the pointing. I love how she carries herself. She's married to Naraku now. And he will fight Tony D'Angelo tomorrow on the NXT PLE. I guess you can still call it a premium live event, even though it's on the CW at no cost. So, okay. Here are my notes from the Io Sky Liv Morgan match. Again, Liv came in cursed from Danhausen. As I said, it kind of telegraphed Io that she was going to win. This is a non-title bout. I should mention that. Liv does have the women's championship, but all of these King and Queen of the Ring matches are non-title bouts. So early on, Io is in control. Shoulder block. She hits a shoulder block into a hip toss on Liv. Liv answers with a hurricanrana, a corner shoulder, a running knee. Liv steps on Io's neck on the ropes, but the referee forces a break. Io's hits a running drop kick and then a flying cross body off the barricade. Pretty cool scene. She goes up, says hi to all the fans in attendance. There's a group of younger kids there. She calls out to them, then gets up on the barricade and hits this flying cross body. Then she comes back to him and high fives him and stuff. Again, her great persona. Liv then takes over from there. She throws Io into the ring post, throws her back into the ring. She kicks Io to the midsection and then the head. There's a corner running knee that she connects on, a top rope takedown. She hits Io face first into the mat. Liv does her three amigos in memory, I guess, of Eddie Guerrero. She hits an enziguri, hits a chokehold, and then there's a Boston Crab attempt, but that's reversed by Io into a stomp. And with that, there was a loud "This is awesome" chant. So really good match at this point. Back and forth. Io back elbow, a face first drop. She works Liv's arm a little bit. There's a top rope drop kick by Io. double knees by Io. Liv hits a backstabber and Io rolls out. Liv a suicida, but she eats a forearm by Io, so she doesn't hit it. Io then with a moonsault off the second rope and a double underhook backbreaker that Liv kicks out of in 2. All right. Then I just called this segment the leg. Io goes to the top rope. Liv pushes her off the top rope, and Io lands on the stairs, the entrance stairs, the steel stairs, and hurts her foot or her knee or her leg in that move. And just grabs at it, falls to the floor. You knew it wasn't serious because the referee never came down and checked on her. But Liv hunts on it. She gets Io back in the ring, puts on a half Boston crab. Io looks like she's going to tap, but she crawls over to the ropes, just puts her finger on the rope, and Liv pulls her back out to the middle of the ring. And Io, though, hits an up kick to get out of it. She's free. They have exchanges in the center of the ring. Liv kicks the bad leg. Io's knee then gives out as she's trying to run across the ring. Liv hits a code breaker. Io's leg buckles again off of a missed dive, but then we hit to go to the finish. Both women are up on top. Io punches Liv off, hits an amazing Spanish fly, really well executed Spanish fly. Io goes back up to the corner rope, hits a moonsault for the 3 count, and Io Sky is your queen of the ring. Again, goes back to the Danhausen curse. That will be no doubt discussed on Monday Night Raw. The whole back half is built on Io's hurt leg, the step landing, the half crab, the buckling knee, and yet the finish is Io climbing twice and landing the moonsault ultimately on that same leg. So the injury thread runs right up to the win without ever actually stopping her. And again, Io Sky, queen of the ring. They interview Io, and quickly, Io says, well, first she says she has the celebration in the ring and she declares herself the queen of the ring. That's really all she says. But then she turns to Liv Morgan and she calls her out and says, "You are my opponent at SummerSlam." So she makes her choice right then and there. Crown won, opponent named. The SummerSlam challenge is set. And the promo caps the coronation really well. But also cashes it in right away by announcing that she will face Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. So you have one match lined up for SummerSlam. All right, so King and Queen of the Ring, Obafemi and Io Sky. I think we kind of thought, at least I did, that Oba was probably a likely choice to win King. Not necessarily. I didn't think maybe Io would win it. I thought perhaps Liv might win it. Among others. I mean, the women's draw was pretty serious, but yeah, again, just checking on the post show here. They're just going back and looking at some matches. So we then get a vignette on the Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Gunther main event before ESPN. The free show goes off the air. I didn't even realize I had to change back to the premium channel, but I did. I walked out of the room, came back, and softball was on. So quickly changed back, and Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker in a steel cage. That was the first premium event on this card. So both men load the ring before the match, before the doors close. They put in chairs, kendo sticks, a trash can, tables, a little bit of everything. Early on, Braun's power kind of is showcased. Seth catches him on a cage slingshot, jumps back on Braun. 3 German suplexes by Braun, repeated cage throws by Braun, a kendo stick work, sidewalk slam onto a chair. Rollins is in clear pain. Seth kicks off a trash can shot, but eats a cage face plant. Seth then starts turning it around. He catches a leapfrog into a power bomb. He hits a clothesline. He gets some kendo stick shots of his own. He grinds Braun's face into the cage, sets a table in the corner, and buries Braun under a pile of chairs, so he's about to jump, or about to throw Braun onto this pile of chairs, but Braun hits a top rope Frankensteiner, again, executed really well, onto the chairs. Seth's in a lot of pain. Braun gets a 2 count on him. Braun hits a flying clothesline, another 2 count. The fans again start yelling, "This is awesome." A chair through chair spots, chair and chair spots both ways. So both guys using chair shots. Seth hits a power kick. Braun answers with a spear. And then we go to the top of the cage. So this is interesting. Braun sets a table up, puts Seth on it, starts climbing to the top of the top rope, but then continues to climb to the top of the cage. By the time he gets up there, Seth actually meets him up top. They trade some blows. Braun rakes the eyes of Seth, which means he starts climbing down the cage a little bit because he can't see. But then Seth, while Braun is on top of the cage, turns it into a superplex with literally Braun really starting at the top of the cage through the table. Braun comes up. He clearly took some kind of hit. I don't know if it was a headbutt or part of the table, but he is bleeding like right from the temple, and it let out pretty good. Uh, Braun clotheslines, hits a clothesline into a torpedo spear. Seth kicks out in 2. Um, at one point, Braun just looks exasperated, tired, again, bloody, and he thinks that maybe the best answer is just let me get through the cage door and end this thing. As he's doing that, Seth yells at him to be a man, finish this in the ring. Ultimately, Seth grabs him, doesn't allow him out of the door. Braun slams the door shut. It actually slams on both of their heads. Then we're back into the ring with the door closed. Braun misses a spear and goes through a table. Seth hits a pedigree into a stomp, but Braun kicks out in 2.5. Braun again just looks so discouraged and out of it. Seth's about to hit another stomp. Braun just kind of stops him. But Seth ultimately ends up hitting a top rope stomp. At that point, you knew it was over. It's a 3 count. Your winner, Seth Rollins. Again, brutal, escalating cage fight that earned a really big fan reaction. Again, from a score standpoint, I gave this one a 7.33. Really good match. Sometimes you get cage matches that are cage matches just to make wrestlers look good. These were 2 wrestlers that I would say made the cage look good. This match is a ladder of escalation, from kendo sticks to chairs to cage tops to superplexes through tables, each near fall topping the last. So the finish has to come off the highest point, the top rope stomp. Again, neither man climbed over the top of the cage or left by door. Seth Rollins, again, ends up winning this. So nice win by Seth Rollins. Hopefully this puts the vision behind him and Seth can go on to a new and different storyline. Maybe he goes against Sami Zayn. Who knows? We then go right into the Trick Williams-Ricky Saints match. This one was the one I was probably least interested in. And I'm trying, like Trick, I can get my head around. I like the little yachty spots with Trick. Ricky Saints, I really struggle with. I wanted to give him every opportunity here. It was a huge stage for Ricky Saints. I want to give him his due, even if his WWE run so far has been kind of a mixed bag. Trick in control early. Saints jumps Trick right before the bell, but Trick takes him down. Hits Ricky with some serious chops. Saints misses 3 punches. He literally throws punches. And first I was like, are they really trying to say that he connected on those punches? But it was clear that Trick was kind of getting out of the way of it. And then Saints just gets picked apart by Trick. Corner stomps by Trick. A big reverse leg by Trick. But then we see this floor spot where Ricky grabs this kendo stick that little Yachty carries around with him. It's a kendo stick wrapped in something. But Saints grabs it while the referee isn't looking and decides, I'm going to fall on the ground and throw the stick on the ground. And when the referee turns around, he thinks little Yachty hit Saints with a kendo stick, which he didn't, but he thinks that, and he kicks little Yachty out of the match. Yachty has to go to the back. So Yachty ejected from ringside, and now Saints takes over. He brawls outside the ring, throws Trick into the ring steps. He hits an elbow, a knee, a clothesline, a corner uppercut. He grabs Trick's arm and does his walk on the ring rope, holding Trick's arm, and then jumps into Trick off of that rope, and ultimately hits a suplex. There's a near fall, and there's reversals both ways. Trick hits a spin kick, face first slam. By the way, the post match now, Gunther is confronting Nick Aldis, push Nick Aldis into a wall. Gunther's now being walked back. Obviously upset about everything, but boy, how many chances is this guy gonna get? I'll tell you. Anyway, Trick hits his spin kick, face first slam. He hits a bookend for a 2 count. Saints hits a neck breaker. He goes for his Rochambeau attempt, but it's caught with a back body drop. Saints hits a Revolution Tornado DDT. He hits a top rope elbow, gets a 2 count, but then Trick's second bookend is reversed, but then Trick off the ropes with a knee to the head and a 3 count, and Trick retains his United States title. I thought it was kind of a weak ending. He really, he hits that knee to the head after Saints got a few good punches in, a few good moves in, and just with that hit to the head, it was a 3 count. I thought there should be a little more of a barrage from Trick before getting the count, but gets the 3 count. Again, Trick retains. Hopefully this is it for his time with Ricky Saints. After the bell, Yachty returns, cracks Saints with a kendo stick. He drops the people elbow, which was termed his yacht drop. I guess he calls it his yacht drop. Michael Cole said that's what the name of it is, a yacht drop. So Saints earned the spot. Trick retains cleanly off the running knee. This one became a match because of the whole kendo stick spot. It removed the corner man, handed Saints control, but it also set up the kind of the payback post match where Yachty returns and evens the score. So again, 6.83. That's what I rated this match preliminarily. One of my lower rated matches probably on the card, partly just because I can't get into Ricky Saints. So that was it for that match. Michael Cole then does a vignette on WrestleMania 2027 in Saudi Arabia. So they're getting ready already for 2027 WrestleMania. We then go to the Tiffany Stratton Jade Cargill match. So let's talk about this one a little bit. This is for the United States Championship. Tiffany Stratton holds that United States Championship. Early on, Tiffany goes at Jade early, drop kicks, roll up for 1, hits what I'm calling the butt buster. I don't know if that's the right name. It's when somebody's draped over a rope and she comes and drops her butt on the person. So I'll call it a butt buster. She goes for a suicida, but Jade catches her, literally catches her outside the ring. And then Jade goes through her power moves. She hits a knee to the head, a sit-down power bomb, a forearm uppercut. She pushes Stratton's head into the apron and then shows off by doing push-ups, which got big boos from the crowd. I thought that was interesting. She hits what's called a black hole slam. It's a kind of swinging sidewalk slam. I had not heard of a black hole slam before. But then Tiffany starts coming back. She hits some big elbows, some forearms, some drop kicks, a cartwheel hit. She rolls out of the Jaded. So this is where I thought Jade might win it. She had her in the Jaded move, and Tiffany kind of rolls down and through. There's a turnbuckle throw into a rolling senton. Jade hits her sandstorm for 2, and Jade hits a neck breaker. And then all of a sudden, Tiffany is up top looking like I don't know if this is where she was going to go for her finisher, but BFAB runs out, pushes, and BFAB distracts the referee, and Michin pushes her off the top rope. I might have that backwards. It might have been Michin arguing with the referee while BFAB pushes her off the top rope. Jade ends up hitting the choke slam, and Tiffany gets her shoulder up. And then all of a sudden, Chelsea Green shows up from underneath the ring. She clears out BFAB and Michin. Really cool. Chelsea gets a huge pop. Chelsea in taking out BFAB and Michin knocks the US championship off its little table, and she picks it up and kind of looks at it and um, gets that look in her eyes, almost like Lord of the Rings when you look at the ring and you get that look in your eye. That's kind of what she looked like. But she ends up getting hit by Jade, and the belt falls in the ring. So Jade pulls Chelsea in the ring, stares her down, and then Charlotte Flair appears, grabs the belt. Jade runs over as the referee's trying to get Chelsea Green out of the ring. Jade comes over. Charlotte hits Jade with the belt, and that allows Tiffany to hit the prettiest moonsault ever and get the 3 count. Tiffany retains her United States championship. That interference has been happening in this feud between Tiffany and Charlotte and Chelsea Green. So it's fitting that this ends this way. Once again, I will say I hope this kind of moves on from this set of feud into another. The belt becomes the magnet for the finish. Chelsea eyes it. Jade sees it. She gets clocked with it. Different factions get involved here. There does seem to be some collegiality between Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. This might all fold up into some type of feud. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where it goes. So again, Tiffany retains. So 2 United States Championship matches, 2 retentions in those matches, which takes us to our main event. Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Gunther. All right. A lot of notes here. Let me just see. So the entrances, Sami comes out to a huge pop. Not surprising. So Sami, while he is Canadian, his lineage goes back to Syria, and he is a devout Muslim. And so he comes out in his chic attire, and the fans love him. It's his ride and die fans, no doubt. Saudi Arabia, ride and die fans for Sami Zayn. Gunther's music hits, and course of boos, absolute boos. Cody comes down, gets some boos. He didn't get a pop. I mean, it wasn't like, no, no doubt. Here, Bailey, there is no doubt that Sami Zayn was the favorite in this one from a crowd standpoint. So it's Sami's, I think it's his 10th world title opportunity, might be his 11th. Gunther takes out Sami early, chops down Cody. Sami dumps Gunther over the top. Cody and Sami lock up. Gunther yanks Sami out of the ring, into the ring steps. There's chops and knees on Cody. Poor Sami. I mean, every time he tried to get involved in this match, he ends up getting thrown out, ultimately like hey, get out of our business. This is for the big boys. But Cody hits a Cody cutter off the second rope on Gunther. There is a power slams Gunther. He hits a double Cody cutter on both Gunther and Sami. He hits a suicida on Sami. He hits a sunset flip on Gunther and gets a 2 count out of it. Gunther hits a snapmare into a power bomb. Sami breaks the count, so it looked like Cody was going to get pinned there, and Sami breaks the count. Sami reverses the steps spot. Gunther eats them later in the match. He throws Gunther into them. Sami hits his Blue Thunder Bomb on Cody and gets a 2 count. Sami goes for a hell of a kick attempt, but Gunther yanks his legs into the post, so kind of pulls both legs into the ring post. Ouch. Cody hits his crossroads on Gunther, but Sami pulls the ref. Interesting spot. Sammy hits a brain buster. Gunther with a top rope splash and then a stacked power bomb. Sammy reverses a power bomb into a pin for a 2 count. He gets a hell of a kick on Gunther. 1, 2, but Cody pulls the ref off of him this time, or out of the count this time. So I guess the score is even there. Outside the ring, Cody is so Cody clears off Michael Cole's table, and Gunther then comes down and clears off the other table. Cody, let me think here. Cody hits a back body drop on on Sammy, to put Sammy through the other table. Hits it pretty well. But then Gunther power bombs Cody onto the other announce table. So basically everybody's out. Gunther ends up getting Cody in a sleeper back in the ring. So he pulls Cody into the ring, gets a sleeper on him. Cody's nearly out. His hand's about to fall. Sammy comes in and holds his hand up. Gunther then chops Sammy, tells him to stay out of his business. Again, disrespect to Sammy. Sammy hits an exploder and then a hell of a kick, but Gunther kicks out at a 2 count. Sammy appears very frustrated. Cody with a super cutter on Gunther and then a crossroads, but instead of hitting the crossroads, Sammy reverses it into his own crossroads. Yeah, Gunther tries to put a sleeper on Sami Zayn. Sammy quickly reverses it into his own sleeper. Cody with a double crossroads on Gunther. And then, or Cody hits his crossroads on Gunther. And then he's about to hit his crossroads on Sammy, but Sammy rolls him up really quickly, gets the 3 count, new champion Sami Zayn. He celebrates in the ring, then out of the ring among the crowd. Finally a world champion after all these years. It's the moment of the show. It's the build exactly as intended. The finish is pure triple threat logic. Cody does the heavy lifting with the double crossroads on Gunther, or the crossroads on Gunther. I don't know why I keep saying double crossroads. Crossroads on Gunther, and Sammy steals it with the roll up on the man who just did the work. The double ref pull was pretty theatrical and really well done. Let's see. No, Cody couldn't come away with this cleanly. And it is funny, the guy that they disrespected ends up winning the championship. Again, I don't know if this is going to be for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. I have no idea where they're going to go here. Definitely feels like a shorter term title reign, but yeah, that's it. So when I look at these matches, the one that I did rank the highest out of all of them, and I'll call it my match of the night. It's got to be the main event, Sammy versus Cody versus Gunther. I have it rated right now 7.83 from a moment score. So think a moment as, it might not be the best match, but it's a moment you'll always remember. Think of Andre Hogan, right? Definitely not the best technical match you'll ever see, but it is a memorable match and a moment match. This one was kind of memorable as well, and not a bad technical match either. So really well done. So what does this set up for tomorrow? It's interesting, you had very little bloodline involvement other than Jay, and no bloodline involvement there. So, pretty clean overall from a bloodline standpoint. So you have to figure they're going to get involved somehow tomorrow. See if they get involved with Sammy in any way. You know, I'm sure the king and queen will celebrate. Will something happen with Obafemi here? I don't know tomorrow. Could there be a Brock Lesnar sighting? It is interesting. They're going to fly back and wrestle in Atlantic City tomorrow. It's an early start time too. It's 6:00. I'm just trying to think of the logistics. It's nighttime there right now, unless they have some type of red eye, which they might. I don't think they would fly out tomorrow. I guess they could, if they fly out early, say 7 a.m. on 12, call it 1, and then roll back. They'll probably get in pretty early. get a little bit of rest in Atlantic City, and then have their stuff tomorrow. Again, not a lot of bloodline here, so maybe they go bloodline heavy. Um, but that's it. Overall, good show, really good show. I think it was creative. They did a good job. I liked it. No complaints. This is one of 4 big shows this weekend. Tomorrow, I will be back at you. I'm going to do my regular power ratings for MLB. And with that, I'm going to do some previews of TNA Slammiversary, NXT, Great American Bash, and then AEW Forbidden Door. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching this live stream, and I will talk to you all later.